Gonna hike the Grand Canyon north to south.
Nature's wonders. Let's take a look.
So that's the Grand Canyon, huh?
That's it.
Well, doesn't look like much to me.
Not now, but they expect it to be a big thing someday.
I just left the North Rim Campground, headed over to the North Kaibab Trail on the Brindle Path. About a half mile from the campground over to where the trail starts. I'm gonna hike the Grand Canyon north to south, North Kaibab Trail to the Bright Angel Trail. I'm gonna spend 3 nights in the canyon, that's the plan. 4 days, it's 25 miles across, 5,000 foot drop from where I'm at right now at about 8,000 feet down to the river around 3,000 feet, and then back up to the south rim at 7,000 feet. So it's going to take 3 days, so I'm going to take my time, do some side trips is the plan, depending on how the legs hold out. It's about 41 degrees right now. I got down to about 39 last night. But should have great weather. Should just be a great trip. Looking forward to it. Alright, I'm approaching the North Kaibab trailhead, and if you can see, there's some snow here. They did have a snow about 10 days ago, but the trail should be clear. Be very few spots where there's any snow. All right, we're off. We just started down. It's already steep. Should get some good views of the canyon here pretty quick. Chipmunk. Good shot looking down Roaring Springs Canyon. I don't know if you can make out the trail way down there. So this goes down, the trail goes down Roaring Springs Canyon. Then when it runs into that wall on the opposite side, it turns right and then goes out to the Colorado River. Well, I've passed under that white layer of rock and now entered into this red layer. White layer up on top of it. So it's a pretty steep trail. It never lets up. only seen one other person today. He was a backpacker headed down. He was talking about spending the night at Bright Angel and then out tomorrow, or doing the whole thing in a day. But I tell you, this would be a tough day hike. Should be getting close to the Supai Tunnel. There's a woodpecker in this tree, but I can't find him. He's on the back side. And right down there's the Supai Tunnel. It's going to go through that rock and get on the other side of the canyon for a while. Come up on the Supai Tunnel. I'm going to take a break here and shed some layers. This is where they turn around on the mules. And going through this tunnel. Back through, I hear people coming up the trail below me. Yep, there they are, down there. So we just went through the Supai Tunnel, just right up there. Now we're dropping these switchbacks and we're going to cross that bridge down there. And then unfortunately it's uphill for a ways. And then skirts right at the edge of that cliff. Red rock layer sits on this softer dirt layer. It's like it would break and fall off. Hope not today. Good view of the trail. Oh, it's steep right there. Zigzagging down and around and finally to that bridge, and then you got to climb back up. And there's the bridge. It's the first of 6 bridges between here and the Colorado River on the North Kaibab Trail. Maybe the only one we crossed today. We're almost to the Roaring Springs area. You can see the trail down there. It looks like maybe another transition. Leave the red rock and get into that gray dirt. I think Roaring Springs comes out at the top of those trees, the yellow trees up on the left. It comes out of the rock there. I can hear it. I don't know if it'll be on this. Ooh, feels good here in the shade. There's rock layers. It's just so cool. Like some springs right here. Water seeping out of the wall. But the water from Roaring Springs is where they pump this water up to the north rim and up to the south rim. So that's where all the water on both rims comes from, is right here. I don't know if it's in the summer or what, but they said 250,000 gallons a day gets pumped out of here up to both rims. Another look at Roaring Springs. And I can actually see the water coming out of the rock right there, that lower rock band. You just barely see some water coming out behind those bushes. And then it just cascades all the way down. This should be the front of Roaring Springs Canyon, and then right there is where we join Bright Angel Canyon. And we'll turn right about 2 miles to Cottonwood Campground, and then from there 7 to Phantom Ranch. A shot of Roaring Springs pretty much straight on. You can see the little waterfall down at the bottom. I think this will be my closest view of Roaring Springs. Over to the right of those broken rocks that have slid down. They're black on top and orange on the front. Those are really pretty. That is pretty neat right there. There's no trails up there. There is a trail to the day use area, and this is the intersection to it right here. Three-quarters of a mile. It just goes back to that house, I think, which is right down there. Gets to the creek, but it doesn't climb to that spring. Maybe the pump house. And helicopter landing pad. And down here should be the Manzanita rest area. And I'm ready for it. There's the pipeline going through the trail. Ooh. I was told this was all turned off, but looks like it's on. We are there. 1.4 miles to Cottonwood. It's not long. We got the Manzanita rest area. Bridge going back across. It's about a mile to Cottonwood Campground where I'm staying tonight. So maybe 30 more minutes. There's a ranger house up there. And put a message board here. And water. Hey, fishing with a battery, all right.
Yeah.
Hello.
How's it
Buddy,
going?
got two. Hello. Hello.
Thank you. Got one more.
Okay. Crossing the bridge back across the creek, Bright Angel Creek. Put me on the same side of the canyon as Cottonwood. All these people I'm passing are rangers fishing for non-native species. Hello. So they're sitting up right there and they're putting electric charges in the water, shocking all the fish, and then they're pulling out the non-native ones and then putting the indigenous ones back in. I guess it doesn't hurt them, just knocks them out for a few seconds. But what a job. But that's looking back at Manzanita Rest area. And around that corner to the left, up there is Roaring Springs. That's where we came down. Made the right, and now we're in Bright Angel Canyon. And we stay on this. It's 9 miles to the Colorado River, 8 miles to the Colorado River. But I only have a mile to go to my campsite for tonight. And I'm ready to get this pack off. I'm ready to put my feet and knees in that cold, cold water. So I should be walking by this creek all the way till we get to the Colorado River. Wow. Just want to go jump in that. Get on an inner tube and float down to Phantom Ranch. Ooh, I can feel the spray up here. Pretty nice. This trail's pretty nice. It's dirt, not as rocky. Should have all of the hard downhill behind us coming down Roaring Springs Canyon. Right there's a view down Bright Angel Canyon all the way to the south rim. That farthest back peak, or farthest back rock wall, is the south rim. Yeah, not counting those rangers, I think I've seen 5 people. 2 other backpackers spending the night at Phantom Ranch tonight and doing this as a overnight trip. And then 3 day hikers, trail runners. And it seems like the trail runners outnumber backpackers quite a bit. There is no water at Cottonwood. They've got it turned off, the ranger told me. So if I need any more water, I will have to filter it out of the creek. And here are the campsites, Cottonwood, so it's first come, first serve. We just pick the one we want. I just had lunch at campsite and made camp. Got some water. Now I'm headed up the trail, or this is down the trail, headed towards Phantom Ranch. And I'm going to turn off about a mile down here to Ribbon Falls. Supposed to be a must-see on this trip. And then if I can find the trail, see how bad it is, I may climb above Ribbon Falls and go see Upper Ribbon Falls. That is the plan now. It's 1:30, so it's a mile to Ribbon Falls, another mile to Upper Ribbon Falls, so 2 miles, so 4 miles total to get there and back to camp. Sunsets at 5:30. It may get darker sooner here in the canyon, but that gives me 4 hours to cover 4 miles. I made it to the Ribbon Falls. Turn off. I don't know who NS is. Back up there's the way we came. So this is the trail to Ribbon Falls. It used to have a bridge, probably right there, and the bridge washed out. Ribbon Falls is around that turn there. And then right over here is the trail to Upper Ribbon Falls. Here's where the bridge used to be. And a flood about 3 years ago ripped it out. See how high it was. It's been a heck of a flood. Well, there's the first look at Ribbon Falls. Assume this is the trail. A little sketchy. Right, at the bottom of Ribbon Falls. That is amazing. I haven't said that word enough. So the layer up above is limestone. And as the water comes across, it dissolves that limestone. And when it falls and it hits, the force of the impact knocks the limestone out of the water and formed that cone there. Essentially a stalagmite if it were in a cave, but the same principle. I think the waterfall is 120 feet and that cone I think is 70. One of the special things about this place is the Zuni Indians believe this is where their ancestors came out of the underworld onto the surface of the earth. So basically the equivalent of their Garden of Eden. So they believed that prior to this life, their ancestors lived inside the earth. The sun god saw them under the earth, inside the earth, and decided to bring them out into the light. So the sun sent his two sons into the earth and built a path for the Zuni people to get out and to come to the surface. And so the Zuni people believe that at this spot is where they left this underworld and entered the surface of the earth. So after they came out, the sun realized they weren't going to be able to survive on the surface, so he cut their tails off, split their webbed feet and hands, and got rid of their fur and made them into the humans that they are today. Okay, up that face is the trail to Upper Ribbon Falls. I'm going to give it a try. We'll see what happens when we get up there. This is looking up the canyon to Upper Ribbon Falls. And then the creek runs down this. And right there it drops off to Ribbon Falls. I made it back to Upper Ribbon Falls. They say this is more of a ribbon than Ribbon Falls, but it's hard to get back here, so not as many people come back here. but it's still pretty impressive. Man, how often do you get to drink water from a waterfall? I wanted to come back here and see this for obvious reasons. It's something not many people see, and it's worth coming back here to see it. It's a beautiful area off the beaten path. But I had an ulterior motive for coming back here, and that is near here are some ruins, ancestors of the Hopi people. Puebloan people. I don't know exactly where it is, but I know it's near Ribbon Falls. And it's up in some cliffs, so it could be anywhere along the right or left. I'm going to scout around and try to find it. If I find it, great. If I don't, I'll look for a little while and then head out. But I'm hoping I can find that. All right, I'm up some of these overhangs and cliff faces looking for those ruins. Yeah, and I got about an hour, see if I can find them. Shouldn't take that long. It's not a very big area. But if I can't find them, I'll head down, but still got a little more time. That's impressive. But it would be nice to see when it was still alive, blooming. It's right on the trail to the upper Ribbon Falls. And I don't know how you would get there, but I'm read on the map where there is another falls a lot further up above this one called Upper Ribbon Falls. I'm not going to be going there today or ever. The sun's starting to set, get below the rim and see the shadows creeping in. It makes the rocks different colors. Sure is pretty. Some more cliffs to explore. I'm looking for those ruins up against this cliff face. Still in Upper Ribbon Falls Canyon, or Ribbon Falls Canyon. All right, I was able to find it. So up in here, so these were granaries. They would make clay pots, and then I guess maybe out here even, I'm not sure where, they grew grain, corn, other types of grain. They would put that in the clay pots, seal the clay pots, and then put the clay pots inside these little alcoves in these cliffs, and they would build the mud bricks over them to seal them in, and that protected them from weather and rats and chipmunks and birds. And then when they were needed them, they would just come break through and pull out their pots. Oh, this is really cool. I don't know if these were where they accessed their food back in there, these little square windows. They definitely had all this built up. Some more. I guess they just put their pots in there and they'd seal those up, and that's where they would break through. Or maybe they used something else to block it. But all along here, archaeological site. Leave them for future generations. Disturbing, defacing, or altering. $250,000 fine, 2 years in prison. So, I'm not going in it. I'm just going to film it. That may have been a room. Maybe they lived here. Unknown to me. Again, these were the ancestors of the Hopi people. You know, a mile down there is one of the most sacred sites to the Zuni people, and a mile up this way are where a whole other group of people lived. You know, the ancestors of the Hopi people. And then there were a lot more peoples that came through here. So, there's a lot of history in this place. Hiking out of Ribbon Falls Canyon, almost to the front part where it starts to drop back down. Looking back up the canyon. So there's Ribbon Falls from top to bottom. There's a long old way down. Now back to that front side that I wasn't looking forward to. You can see the North Kaibab Trail on the right side of the creek. Well, it's 4:30. Should be able to get back to camp by 5:30, if not sooner. So shouldn't be doing any night hiking. Well, I made it across Bright Angel Creek again. Now I'm back on the North Kaibab Trail. Sun is starting to set. The sun is shining on those upper formations, upper layers. They're starting to shine a little. It's really pretty. Well, good morning. It's day 2 here in the Grand Canyon. So today's plan is to hike down to Phantom Ranch and Bright Angel Campground. It's about 7 miles. Probably drops 1,000 feet. Shouldn't take too long to get there, 3 or 4 hours. And then there's a little loop trail over the river, over the Colorado River, that uses both bridges, the Black Bridge and the Silver Bridge. So I'll probably do that as a day hike, afternoon hike when I get down there. And then also have a dinner. They serve dinner at the Phantom Ranch Cantina. So I've got a stew dinner planned for that. So today should be a lot less mileage and a lot easier day than yesterday. So be a good rest day. Thanks. Here's the first bridge today. Wow, that's pretty. Rock fall across the trail. Glad that wasn't today. Like another rock fall covering the trail. Looks like bridge number 4. Okay, bridge number 5. Not sure how good you can see that rock sticking up right on the rim. I believe that's the rock they call the Phantom. And one of the legends is this is how Phantom Ranch got its name. So this trail was built by the miners who were mining down in the canyon, and they built this trail to get their ore out. And they said that rock there looked like a phantom waiting to sweep down and steal their ore. Anyway, that's one legend of how Phantom Ranch got its name. That's Phantom Rock. Alright, this is bridge number 6. And I'm thinking the first one across today probably doesn't count because it didn't cross Bright Angel. It crossed a little swampy area off to the side. So probably one more to go, but this is the 6th one I've crossed. Alright, it's bridge number 7, but I believe it's bridge 6 over Bright Angel. Ooh, sun's bright. Should be the last bridge before Phantom Ranch, so we ought to be close. A nice pool by the trail. Probably feel good during the summer. Alright, coming up on Bright Angel. Come 6.4 miles, 13.4 total. This is the Clear Creek Trail. And I was told there's cell service if you go up here just a little ways. So I'm going to give it a try. So 3/4 mile to Bright Angel Camp. Curious to see how many people are there. It's kind of the main spot down here. I made it to Phantom Ranch. Go down here to the canteen. It's supposed to have good lemonade. Maybe get a candy bar or something, send some postcards. And then I gotta come back down here to the campground. Then after I rest for a little while, I want to do this loop hike, go across the Black Bridge, Silver Bridge, and then back to camp, and then I'll take it easy for the rest of the day. And then I've got dinner reserved here tonight at the canteen. But hard part of the day is over. Should just be easy, relaxing rest of the day. It's about 12:30. I left Cottonwood about 8:30, so it took 4 hours. Okay, well, I'm in Phantom Ranch. And all these buildings were designed by a lady named Mary Coulter. And she used the natural rock here so they would blend in. And occasionally she tried to find unusual rocks. So here's one of them. It's kind of famous. She called it the catcher's mitt. It's actually wood. She thought it looked like a catcher's mitt. I guess that's the thumb. So she put a rock for the baseball inside it. But that is the catcher's mitt, and it's right here in the side of this building. And then there's another one on the front. It's a matate, which is an Indian grinding stone. Yeah, so it's this one right here. So imagine that laying flat, and they'd put their corn and grain in it, and they'd grind a rock over it, and it wore this down inside. Pretty cool. Lemonade, shirt, bunch of postcards. Guess that's typical Phantom Ranch.
Okay.
Got a glass of the famous Phantom Ranch lemonade. Actually, it's my second glass. It's very, very good, but anything cold would probably be good. It's a little ways down here from Phantom Ranch to the campground, so on my way to set up camp. Here comes the first set of mules I'm having to move out of the way for. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Going great. Crossing the bridge to Bright Angel Campground. Shaded temp, but I don't know. Well, it's 82. In the shade it's 80, so it's only 2 degrees warmer in the sun. I was kind of wanting to camp over here by the creek. It looks like there's some open. That one's not bad. I got the same tent I have. These have less shade and oh, I think I may see home. I definitely see home. Either this one or the next one. What's the access look like? Oh yeah, this is it. This is home, number 7. The beer box. It's got a pole to hang your pack because the rats will chew through it, they say. Right on the creek. More people down that way. Should be really nice. Alright, I'm liking it. We'll get started. First look at the Colorado and the Silver Bridge. This is a hiker-only bridge. The mules can't come across it. Looking down on the Silver Bridge, it's got a great flooring. You can see the water pipe underneath, but when we're up in the air, it's just a little unnerving. There's the Black Bridge. We're going to do a loop hike. It's going to go up this cliff face and drop back down, and we'll cross the Black Bridge. Then we're going to go down to the Colorado River. It's about a mile little loop hike. So tomorrow we'll be turning right, going out Bright Angel. Today we're going to turn left, do this loop hike and connect with the South Kaibab and then cross on the Black Bridge. This is the bottom of the Grand Canyon. And there's the view of Bright Angel running into Colorado. There's a good view looking down Colorado, the Silver Bridge. The trail over on the left cut into the wall. Right, you can see the mules. Saw two different mule groups come in while I was at camp. Up that canyon on the left side of the creek is Bright Angel Campground, and about a half mile up on the right is Phantom Ranch. Still on that river loop trail. This is a pretty neat little cross canyon, I guess, cuts down through here. If I had the time, or I have the time, if I had the energy, it might be fun to go back there and explore, but let's go a little ways. Yeah, that might be fun to go back there, but it looks like a dead end right there. Let's go see. Yeah, we cliffed out. But that's fun after a rain. But probably came 30 yards, maybe 50 yards from the river trail. Not far at all. Getting down it may be the fun part though. It'd be a lot easier, except I'm really sore. Alright, right back. We're looking down on the Black Bridge. Boat beach over there. Move out behind this tree. People sitting on Boat Beach. Black Bridge. I don't know if it's coming out, but you can see the mud swirling in the river. There's somebody crossing the Black Bridge. Be down there in just a few minutes. There's the tunnel. That hiker's fixing to go into a tunnel. That's how you get to the Black Bridge. And here's the junction with the South Kaibab Trail. That's it coming down from the right. So now we're leaving the river trail. We're going to be on just the last little piece of the South Kaibab. Going down the stairs that is the South Kaibab Trail. Oh, it just jolts. My calves are so sore. And then just to the left of the bridge, where that sign is, if you can see it, is some more Pueblo in ruins. These the Park Service has partially restored and should have some information on them, so may learn a little more about them. Oh, well, this is the tunnel. It takes you to the Black Bridge. And no transition, you just step off on the bridge and you're in the air over the river. We'll be looking directly into the sun, but we're going to go back under the bridge. They wanted you to be able to see the top and the bottom. It says this was the Bright Angel Pueblo. Some rooms there, I'll go the other way. It was discovered by John Wesley Powell. Okay, so what it's saying is this is the oldest one, which would be right over there to the left of this pit in 1050 AD, and then all these others, which are right here, was in 1100 AD. And then that big pit in the middle was a kiva for ceremonial stuff. If this picture's going to come out, that's one of those tate stones where they ground the corn, and we saw one of those built into the wall up there. Pictographs, and I think we'll see some of those tomorrow if we can find them. But now I'm going to meander down to Boat Beach and stick my toe in the Colorado River.
Good one.
Well, that water was ice cold, but about the same temperature as the Bright Angel Creek water. But it felt good on my burning feet, so headed back to camp. Gonna maybe get into Bright Angel Creek and try and wash up just a little. Get ready for dinner tonight. But well, I came down Bright Angel Creek all the way to the point where it runs into the Colorado River. Pretty neat. Well, if I had to say, I'd say the creek water is a lot colder than the river water. And a campsite over there. Clean up a little here in the creek. Cold water.
My memory stick is full.
Oh yeah, I brought 5 of them, and I've got 2 that are almost full.
You're gonna record eating?
I'm gonna record eating.
Does that mean I shouldn't say certain things?
No, you're fine. I was just trying to get a little bit of everything. Well, good morning. It's day 3 here at the Grand Canyon. I'm at Phantom Ranch. Getting ready to start the hike out. Gonna do 4.5 miles today, about 1,500 feet elevation gain to Indian Gardens. Spend the night. Really beautiful campsite. Plan for today is to hike up to Indian Garden, go out to Plateau Point, have dinner out there and watch the sunset from there. That's the plan for today. The grating on the bridge floor is loose. When you step on it, it bounces up and down. This is an adventure in itself, just crossing the bridge. Well, I've started up the Bright Angel Trail a little ways, just above those 2 bridges. It's just a great view back down there. It's hard to leave. Kind of like to stay another day or two. Still working my way up the river trail. One last look back at the Silver Bridge. But we're going to be turning and walking away from the Colorado, so this will be our last time we're down close to it. Say, it did a good job in here. Colorado River. I've got the river at my back and looking up. I believe this is called Garden Creek Canyon. That's Garden Creek. There's a waterfall there. You can see there's a bathroom on the left, and the building in the back is the river rest house. That is a really cool looking rock, I thought, with all the swirls in it. There's a look at the river rest house. Under a creek crossing. Really don't want to get wet. People did that. Oh, there's a spot up here maybe. There we go. Creek crossing. Gonna be a little more challenging, I think. I'm just gonna have to resign myself that my feet are gonna get wet. Well, here's an old mine beside the trail. I believe they were mining copper, and they got some, but in doing so they discovered uranium, or at least further up the canyon. So mostly what they got out of here was uranium. And the sign on top said it was the largest producing uranium mine in America, the one on the south rim. Go poke around in it. Now here's the entrance to that mine. It doesn't go back very far. And that's the back of it. way to make a living. Been coming uphill pretty steady, but I think the climbing is fixing to start for real. Well, there's a good look down the Devil's Corkscrew. Aim up all that. Wasn't too bad. It's only about 70 degrees, so it's not too hot, but I can't imagine doing this in the summer when it's over 90. There's a good view down the canyon we came up. You can see the trail down there. It's only supposed to climb between 1,000 and 1,500 feet today to get to Indian Gardens. I don't know how high that is. I'm hoping that's about 1,499. I can hear water. Wow. That is amazing. Well, the creek is the trail. Now a good way across. I'm making my way up this canyon to Indian Gardens Campground. Hello.
Hi.
A little tight here. I'm walking through Indian Gardens Campground. That creek right there. Headed out to Plateau Point. It's about 1.5 miles. Starts with a little climb, I think, and then it's pretty flat. I haven't walked through this part of the campground yet. This is pretty lush. And this is the Tonto Plateau, and I'm headed up there to Plateau Point. Supposed to be great views of the canyon, and it's supposed to be a great place to watch the sunset. Alright, well, this is Plateau Point, and what a view. You can hear the rapids. You can look down the river a little bit this way, and there's some rafters. I hope those are coming out. That's the first rafters I've seen. And it looks like a big rapid they're fixing to go through. If I go over this way, there's a great view of what we did today. You can see down part of Devil's Corkscrew and keep going down. That big long traverse coming. I don't know if we get to the edge, if we can see more of the trail or not. I'm going to get much closer than this. Yep, so there's the trail. And down there's some more trail. That's what we came up today. There's the bottom of that waterfall we passed today. Right now I'm just waiting on the sun to set. Left Plateau Point, heading back to Indian Gardens, and I don't know if it'll come out in the video, but right up there on the rim, I believe that's the El Tovar Hotel. There's some building right up there on the edge. You can see the lights. I'm almost back to the campground. Watch the sunset out from the point. Not sure what the GoPro will record or what I can do with it, but worth the trip out there. So everything I've done on this trip has been as good or better than advertised, so definitely worth the trip out here. Well, good morning. Day 4 down here in the Grand Canyon, and the last day. Just finished packing up and I'm ready to go. When I started, my pack weighed 34 pounds. There's actually a scale here, now it weighs 27. At least it's a little lighter. Headed right up there, and if you can see where the light is actually touching, there's a building there. Something I can see the flag on the El Tovar as well. Pretty limp right now, no wind. But 4.5 miles at 7:30. I'm hoping 4 hours. But I'll see when I get there how long it takes. I'm still walking up this canyon to the back wall. I know we're going to zigzag up that red part, probably over to the left, I think. Then we get to those white cliffs. It goes through that real narrow section right between them. I believe I've reached where I'm going to start up the serious climbing. First switch back here. Just 2 trail runners just passed me, but these two, as they went by, said, "Hey, we're tech graduates." So, wreck 'em tech. Hope they make it.
Hello.
Hello. How are you doing?
Have a good hike.
Thank you. Hello. Yes, sir. Oh, I was hungry. Morning. Morning. Morning.
On your way up or down?
Up.
Where were you at?
I started at the North Rim on Monday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a great trip. Y'all have fun. I made it to the 3-mile rest house. That's the first 1.5 miles. Took about an hour. But it was also the easier 1.5 miles. Looking down the canyon over this ridge. You can see Indian Gardens. And then the trail down there. So 3 miles to go, but it'll be the steeper 3 miles. Probably gonna take a little longer. Got to get to the top of the white, and you can see, I believe that's Kolb Studio right there on the edge. More views down that canyon. You can see Indian Gardens better. Slowly gaining altitude. You're probably a little over halfway to between the 3 mile and 1.5 mile rest house. It's a 1.5 mile rest house, so I've come another 1.5 miles almost. I did that in an hour, so I actually sped up a little. I didn't stop as much. There's the last little bit to go. There's the switchbacks over there. Looking back down the trail, a lot of switchbacks. See, way down there where we came from. Just a 1.5 mile rest house. And I'm gonna take a short break. Took me an hour and 10 minutes to get here. So I'm 2:20 for the first 3 miles. Got a 1.5 miles left to go. A good view right up Bright Angel Canyon this way. Got a whole new appreciation for it. Well, I'm in the middle of those crazy switchback section, and I've officially left the red layer and have entered the white layer of rock, which is the last layer. Looking back down, and you can see some of the switchbacks right here. I heard the train whistle just a few minutes ago, so I still probably have 1 mile to go. Probably, I don't know, 500-700 feet. Doing a lot better than I thought I would. Stronger today than I was yesterday, which is a good thing. It still amazes me to look up what we came down that crack right there. All as far back as you can see, and then turn left. We're up on the first tunnel. I believe from here it's 1 mile to the top. You can see some of the switchbacks coming up. And the number of people I'm passing has probably tripled since I left the 1.5 mile rest house. Well, I've made it back to the pine forest. I was wrong, that white wasn't the last. There's another layer on top of the white. Cool and shady right in here. Man, this is the steepest section of trail I've been on in 4 days. I saved it for the last. But I can see the trailhead right up there. Some lady looking over. If we do one more long traverse to the right, cut back the long traverse to the left, go through the second bridge, tunnel, and we're at the top of this thing. To the vomiting sign. There's the tunnel, the final tunnel. Last little bit to the top, the El Tovar Hotel. And all the way back down, Indian Gardens and beyond. I made it to the final tunnel, close to the top, and right here are some of those big horn sheep, like little ones. Finally saw some. I hope they're coming out. There we go to the tunnel.
Yeah, there's a campground right down there. Oh, cool.
Alright, I'm at the top of the Bright Angel Trail, finishing up the rim to rim hike. The last few steps. And one last look down. Oh man, what a trip. I'm ready to do it again, but not today. Well, I made it back to my truck. I left at 7:40 this morning, got to the top at 11:40, so it took exactly 4 hours. What they don't tell you, or the grand prize for reaching the top, is another half-mile walk to the parking lot to get to your car, but made it. Fixing to go grab something to eat and head back to West Texas.